good evening, and welcome to this edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. I'm your host, Earl Basden. Joining me is co host Andre Doc Manders, as well as Calvin Waldron. First of all, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining this evening. We have some special guests joining us during the show this evening. We're here to talk Cup Match 2023. We know the match ended in a draw with Somerset scoring 404. They batted from 10 a.m. until after 7, about 10 after 7, and then St. George's went in, and at the close of play, they were 1 for 1. The next day, St. George's went on to make 219. They were sent back to bat, and they scored 240 for 6 before stumps were pulled in a drawn match. Doc, let me ask you, what do you think was the plan for Somerset batting as long as they did on day one?
Well, first of all, let me say that we all predicted it would be a draw. I think Cal said the same day. Exciting draw. But it was only exciting the second day when it didn't really mean anything. But yeah, I don't know, the first, yeah, I thought that Somerset had it, they had the trophy. So Washington used to declare that they had the trophy. I mean, I guess they wanted to, I think, well, me personally, when the Macau Walker came in, I'm not too sure what the time was, but I would probably turn in. So he come in fresh to boom. But then they look at it. They was on like 370 something, 380. I think they struck at 400. So, they ended up getting 400. And then they declared. So, I mean, Thomas got the trophy. Maybe they tried to build him a try. But it didn't work. I mean, I think they built one over at St. George's and they got a wicket. Thinking offers they should have done it early. It's one of those things where the captain and the coach decided that's on them. They still refuse to draw.
Sure.
I can't really comment on that, but it's their decision.
Yeah. So Cal, welcome. Your thoughts on the second day with St. George's being built out for 219 and Somerset sending them back to bat. I noted within an hour of them sending them back to bat, the players seemed like they were drained. Did you get the sense of the same thing?
Which players you talk about?
Somerset players. The Somerset players.
I wouldn't say drained. They probably knew the challenge that they were going to face with, particularly sending them back in. They knew that they had to stay out there and get the job done. I think they wanted to bail them out twice, and then give them another 2-1. That's probably one of the reasons why they batted so long and got such a high total.
Well, gentlemen, we're going to be joined this evening first by the match referee, Ms. Linnell Williams. Linnell, first of all, congratulations on becoming the first female to be a match referee for Cup Match. Take us through the emotion of the first morning for you, knowing the task at hand. Can you hear us?
Well, there's a lot of nervousness involved. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
It was a lot of wondering and expectations, and that everything will run smoothly.
Yeah. No, you've done match refereeing Eastern County and other important games. But cup matches are our biggest event. How did you think the match went overall for you? We're having a bit of a problem with Linnell. I'm gonna see if we can fix this. Let's quickly take a commercial break, and I'm gonna see if I can address this delay. We'll be right back after this message from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this? John Barrett & Son is bringing us something fresh and exciting for the new year. Bai Antioxidant Infusion Beverage. Bai delivers the natural antioxidant benefits of the coffee fruit in glorious combination with a variety of exotic fruit flavors, with only 1 gram of sugar and 10 calories per bottle. The folks at Bai are inviting us on a world tour through these amazing flavors. Brasilia blueberry, Zambia Bing cherry, Costa Rica clementine, Malawi mango, Panama peach, Ipanema pomegranate, Kupang strawberry kiwi, and more. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
And welcome back. Linnell, can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So I was asking you about the fact that you've done Eastern County, but for cup matches, it's a bigger stage. Did you feel the match played out to how you as a match referee would have liked it to, with communicating with the umpires, communicating with the captains?
As far as communication, I feel like that went very well. We had radios, and communication between the umpire was very clear. We were able to talk through to each other to make sure that everyone was on the same page. We had a pre-meeting with the captains, which I believe went well to set our expectations for the game.
Yeah. Doc, you have any questions for Ms. Williams?
No, just one. You said you had, luckily you had the experience, you said in the Eastern Conference, right? You know, the Eastern Conference. But in cup match, I guess it's a 2-day event. It's a lot more different than on the Eastern Conference, though.
Sorry?
Okay, not just how did you feel over the 2 days?
It was different. Playing conditions were a little different, and coordinating with the cup match committee, the club executive, to try and make sure that everything ran smoothly. I had a bigger team to work with because the club executive was involved. And I just have high expectations of myself, and I didn't want to let anyone down because of the fact that I was doing this as a female for the first time, and I didn't want it to fail.
Well, you just answered my question because I was going to ask you about the female, but you've done a good job, so I got no more questions.
Cal?
Yeah, I think overall the whole match was run well between the on-field umpires and there's third and fourth that kept the people off the field, off the pitch as much as possible. There were some disturbances with the jolly-go-lucky Irwin people, but that's something the club management would have to try and sort out. But the officiating and everything went well.
Now, let me ask you, because the one thing that everybody was kind of confused about was on Friday afternoon, there was a bit of confusion when the umpires pulled the stumps. What was the message back to the umpires from your standpoint with regards to the match continuing on?
At that point, I actually did not see that happen, so I had to inquire after it. And as you may or may not know, for the game to end at that point, both captains have to agree. Somerset was in agreement, and they were under the impression, from my understanding, that St. George's was going to agree as well. However, St. George's wanted to continue. So at that point, we continued the game.
Okay, all right, cool. So what's next? What's next for umpire or match referee Williams? What's the expectations of yourself?
The expectations of myself is to continue to grow in this area, but to also work on my skills as an on-field umpire as well, so that I can be well-rounded, to continue to study the laws, and when the opportunities arise, to be able to shadow established match referees.
Okay. Well, on behalf of the Island Stats Cricket Show group, we want to say congratulations, job well done. We look forward to you possibly being the first female, to umpire a cup match. How's that?
I will be working on that.
It's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
It's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of work, but at the end, the reward is worth it.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, congratulations again, job well done. We want to wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and keep up the good work. And we'll be talking with you soon. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Indeed. Well, guys, let's talk about that first day. St. George's won the toss, sent Somerset to bat. Doc, St. George's were able to get an early wicket. As we know, Chris Douglas hasn't played much cricket. We talked about that last week Sunday, and he went relatively early with Somerset on 12, and then Trey went for 9. I don't think he saw Mackay Simmons on the boundary because he looked very shocked when he did get out. Did you talk to him about that out?
Yeah, I did. I think he said he saw him, but he was in between two minds. He said he should hit the ball outside. I mean, it was short, it was there to hit. And then I think he tried to pull it on the ground and must caught it in the middle of the bat or something. But originally he said he should hit it outside. But I think the first hour on that wicket, maybe hour and a half, It was still had a little moisture in it. So I think when Chris and Trey was betting and Taryn, they done a very good job in that first hour just to, bet long so the sun could dry out. And after that first hour or hour and a half started to dry out, but they had lost 2 wickets. Chris struggled a bit. I don't know if it was because of the wicket or him not playing. Trey's and Terrence struggled a bit too, but they stayed there. Just the main thing was to stay there as long as possible. It was a little moisture and everybody knows that that's why St. George's won the toss. I mean, they won their toss coming in like they had won the game. Coming in pumped up. I guess that's how it is. But I think Somerset's main game plan was to bet as long as possible in the first hour to dry it out. Try not to lose wickets, but they lost 2. But I think Taryn was me personally, Taryn and LJ really took them out of trouble.
Right.
Because they stayed there. And what LJ done, when the ball was pitched up, he was going after it. He was going over the top. He was driving through. So he was doing his job. And Taryn stayed. So once that partnership started, and then the wicket started to dry out, the other guys came in. They had a lot of partnerships in the middle there, and they was able to make that big score.
Yeah. Cal, you think the line St. George's after the wicket dried out, because like Doc said, they had them in a bit of trouble with the assistance of the wicket, but then the line that they were bowling as the day went on, do you think they were getting it wrong?
Yeah, I think the first hour they struggled, particularly with Dalray. The ball kept slipping. Ball calls. So it was quite obviously a fact in their game plan. But overall, I don't think they built enough balls at the right numbers to trouble these Somerset batsmen. They were either too full or too short. They weren't in areas where batsmen had to kind of think about playing or playing and missing. So, the lines were off a little bit. It was a struggle for them.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the, like Doc said, once LJ got in, things really settled down because he said, like you said, when the bare ball was there, he put it away, and it took a lot of the pressure off of Somerset. They went from 36 for 2 to 92 for 2. 92 for 3 with LJ actually on 44 and Taryn just playing a supporting role. So, when you look at that type of stuff, once LJ got out, Dion came in. He had a rocky start, but then settled down, along with Taryn, and then Somerset would have felt like, okay, we're in a decent position now. Even when Dion went off with the injury, here comes Kamal. And, he started banging the ball around. Taryn eventually got out when the score was 160. So Doc, at 160 for 4, not unsure whether or not Dion can come back to bat. You look at Stephen Bremer coming in to join Kamal, and they took the score from 160 to 216. And I was really impressed with the way I've watched him bat a lot, and the maturity showed from Stephen Bremer. What do you think about his innings?
Hey, I'm not surprised because I said the same thing. I'm seeing him batting this year. I saw him in the Cup match trial. I saw him when he played against I think it was Bayless Bay or one of the other team, and I'm really impressed with his batting, man. He's really been taking his time, and it's been putting away the Bay balls. It's got a good technique now. His defense is really good. So obviously he's been working. I think Cleve has been coaching Cleveland now. So I'm sure Cleve has been working on that. But he looked complete in all the innings I'm seeing him. And that was a good 64 what he got, and I'm sure St. George's wasn't. They probably underestimated him. And when you look, he went from 30, 40, 50, and made a good total of 60 something. His first 50 in Cup net. So you know, and that was an art. And you got to remember the wicket's drying out now. I was playing battle. So once he got that, Dion was able to get his leg taken care of. And you look, his coming back. I'm sure St. George's head is dropping now. See Dion coming back, and then you look, he goes to make 100.
Right.
So yeah, that was, and then of course, I mean, Kamal came before that, and Kamal made what, a quick for
38,
38, and it wasn't for a good catch from the outrage. It could have been the outrage. I mean, Kamal probably got a 50 or 100 because he was just starting to hit too. So
Right.
but like I said, it was good partnerships in Somerset's innings that really got them to that big total. Right from, like I said, right after they lost those 2 wickets, right down to the end.
Right. They started getting decent
And of course,
partnerships.
like Carol said, it was some bad bowling on St. George's part, but I got to give kudos to Zico Burgess. I thought he bowled really well in spurts. You know, he ended up getting 4 wickets.
Yeah.
So, you know, he bowled. And there was a few other guys that Rodney didn't bowl too bad. There's a few others that too. But I think Zico was probably the better bowler.
Allen also got 4 for 95. Cal, let me ask you, when it would have been when Kamal got out, they were 216. Were you surprised that Malachi didn't come and they said, and Jordan himself came to bat?
I think it could have been either way. Jordan just keep the runs flowing, and Malachi could have been more of a pinch hitter. So, you know, the reverse roles of Jordan not having to play them big shots, where Malachi is more adept to. So, you know, they just probably were batting time, trying to reach your target that they want to reach without getting there too early and using up too little time.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to you, Doc, because I was saying after it went 7 o'clock and Dion and Michael Walker was at the wicket, I would have, if I was St. George's, I'd have pulled a Cleveland. I would have thrown the ball out by the boundary, thrown the ball all around to everyone, because the thing was, you didn't want to, after being in the field all day, you didn't want to bet not even 1 over. And that's what Somerset actually got, an over and took a wicket. How would you have handled that last 30 minutes? Because they even, and we're going to be joined by Clay Smith soon, but having to go to bat for that 1 over, what would have been your nerve-wracking, thing going into that?
Well, they tried some stuff. I mean, they tried really wicked, and that they took up time.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's hard. They was probably tired. Even 1 over. I mean, they put in a night watchman after Trady got out. Brian came in as night watchman. And like after that 1 over, sometimes that is the hardest. Like 1 over. Fronting your march not getting out. So you're cautious anyway. So maybe Trady was probably cautious, just leaving the ball.
Right.
He wanted to get a nick. I mean, you look his ball.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could have tried that. What you were saying, but I mean, they tried different things. They was probably. I can't say they was angry that Somerset batted that long. I mean, you sent to me, and so and Somerset's got the trophy.
Right.
So they're not going to declare because they won't. Because you want them to declare to make a game of it. But so it's just that 1 over and that 1 over. People's probably saying, no, I wonder why they didn't send him early. You probably got more wickets.
Right.
But it's one of those things, Earl, where, they got a wicket and then they just put more pressure on St. George's because in 1 over you get 1 wicket and it was Trady. The Trady is normally pretty steady. Then you have Brian out there, so you got 2 coats. in the morning. So it probably fired up Somerset a bit to look at a 2-1.
Right.
But that wicket just got easier and easier as the days went on anyway. So it was kind of difficult to build both teams out on that wicket.
Yeah. Now, Cal, I'm coming to you, and I want you to put on your umpire's hat, because what would have the umpires been able to do had St. George's wasted time after 7 o'clock to get to at least 7:20 before getting Somerset out?
Well, it's a time event, so time is time. If that's the way it goes,
Right.
they could have wasted time while they were fielding, and they could have wasted time while they were batting. That 1 over. So the most you could do is just tell them, play. Somerset were ready. Somerset in position, and the batsmen take the time, and you could say, well, batsmen, the ballers are ready. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to take a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by the St. George's coach, Clay Smith. We'll be right back.
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends, and that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
That's the one, 2, 3.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
Here's one of our favorite feature brands, true veterans of the food awareness movement. Bob's Red Mill, the U.S. leading miller of organic whole grain foods. Only whole grains have the entire value developed during growth. And once you try them, you know that this is the way food was intended to be. Try Bob's Red Mill blanched almond, whole wheat pastry, and artisan bread flours, and 1-to-1 gluten-free baking flour, unsweetened shredded coconut, gluten-free homemade wonderful bread mix, and a variety of rolled oats. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back, and welcome to Clay Smith, the St. George's coach. Clay, clearly, going into cup match, you have to, in order to dethrone the champions, you're going to have to build them out twice. Winning the toss after knowing it was, less than ideal preparations as far as wicket being prepared because of so much moisture around the island over the last few months, and even the day before, 2 days before, we had rain. So what was the plan going into after winning the toss?
The plan was very straightforward. We have to build them out twice. There was moisture in the air, and the wicket was, as you know, had a little dampness in it. So we want to try and get what we can out of the wicket in the first morning, and hopefully try and get 4 to 5 wickets before lunch. The first hour, I'll get to it, guys. Let's take it in segments. So we wanted to dominate the first hour, and I thought we did that. After that, we got Dion Stubble in. It was a great opportunity. I think he was on note, to be quite honest with you. And we had a perfect opportunity for a run out, and we just didn't execute. And that pretty much swung the whole match in its entirety. Because if you get Dion Stubble out from note, you're looking at a totally different ballgame.
What about the line in which some of your bowlers were bowling as the day went on?
Well, you didn't have to talk anymore. Pretty much the first day my bowlers played, they knew it in themselves. They bowled. It was horrendous. Their bowling was unacceptable at the cup match level. I don't think And it was, and I have to give him a little bit of leeway because obviously with so much rain about, the ball did get wet. It was hard to grip. You see somebody up there around with quality, willing numerous amounts of low balls, full tosses about the waist. So that lets you know that it was difficult to go. It's just one of those things, But overall, I just thought our lines were just appalling for a touchdown.
Sure. Cal?
Yeah, I can kind of agree with like I said, Delray struggled, and you and I chatted before cup match that I thought he would open. That was the plan, but with him not able to grip the ball effectively, that affected their game plan. But the rest of the ball is like Doc said, Zico built out. The other guys are either just a little bit too full or too short. Allen ended up with 4 as an option builder. Because even Picnic built before Brian. So, the Berlin rotation ran around trying to search for them wickets. And Allen ended up getting the bulk of them. So it was a challenge for them Berlin.
Yeah.
Although Allen got 4 wickets, I still think he built a lot of boundary balls. If you look at his bowling, he built a lot of long hops, a lot of short balls. So yes, he did bowl some and got some wickets, and they give him credit for that. But way too many boundary balls, you know what I mean? And, it was unfortunate because, to be honest, that end of the wicket was prepared specifically for spinners to get something out of it. And they thought, when Dowry did get it right, and when Allen got it right and built in the right areas, they were extremely effective. But it was just inconsistency of their lengths and lines that cost us.
Doc?
I agree. I agree with Clay. I think Allen just gave up. He built too many bare balls, even though he got wickets. I think he's built at least 2 or 3 bare balls and over. He built one good one or 2 good ones, get a wicket every couple of overs. But then he's building too many boundary balls. And I think, like you said, it's probably because the wicket, was damp. I mean, like with Dowry's first couple of us, you could see he was struggling. And I don't know what it was, but he was even building short too. I guess, like I said, it was probably one of those things where you probably need some more claws out there, drying your ball off. I don't know. Dowry was struggling, but Zico didn't seem like he was struggling that bit. He was building some good lines too, especially to Chris Douglas. Even his second and third spells, he came on. He built really good. But I think you got to still give kudos to Dion Stubble, because even though St. George's picked a lot of spinners, I think out of the Somerset batsmen, he's one of the best players to spin. And he made it look so easy coming on the wicket, to Rutney, to all these spinners. He just made it look so easy. Clay talked about that chance. I mean, in games you're going to get chance. They didn't take it, so that could have been a turning point. But still, you still got to blow like Somerset twice. I mean, like you might get Dion the first innings, and then the second innings you still got to get 20 wickets. I think the same thing last year. You guys, the same thing when Dion made his 100. I think it was a close LB decision, and the same thing, and he went on to make 100. So that's just part of the game. But I still think he batted really well. Like he was probably. Him and Dowry probably one of the better players of spin, because you could see both of them how they bet the spin. They look really well. I mean, it's sometimes it's like how you gonna get both of them out.
Yeah, I have to applaud Dion. I mean, his innings was first class. He, outside of that chance for a run out, he didn't give us another chance for the whole day. He just grinded and took what we gave up pretty much, you know. So I take my hat off to him. I tell him, I said, Chops, now you have to come back for another year because you've done back-to-back centuries. So, you know, you have to come back and try and do it a third time. You know? So, like I said, I won't be sums. I won't be straight, you know. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens next year.
Yeah. Not to take away the fact that Delray's batted 3 times in cup match and got 3 half centuries. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. That is correct.
Yeah. So, Clay, what was your message to the players Thursday night? Because you knew it was going to be a tall order on Friday. So what was your message to the players on Thursday night?
It's just simply to show character. Let's go out there on Friday and show some heart. You know, there's no way in hell Sums was going to build us out twice in one day. That I thought was very arrogant of them that they could do that. You know. Yeah, I just told my players, you have to show heart. You have to show heart. Yeah, go out there and just perform like you know you can. We weren't talking about the total. It was just about betting possibly bet. You know, because at the end of the day, let's face it, after day one, it was pretty much Sums had killed the game. Because either they weren't going to bowl us out to win the game, or it was going to be a draw. That was it. You know, so it was no way after day one that we could possibly come and still try and win. Having to score 400 or something, and then still try to get a result. The game was dead up. You know, they put themselves in a position where they could win 2-1. It was going to be, and that was it.
2:19, and it's after 3. You're sent back to bat. Change the batting lineup a little bit, and you know, after Azende got out, in comes Mackay, and him and Treddy go about just steadying the inning, batting long. Unfortunately, Treddy was given out, LBW, but looking at that, was that the plan at a second inning? Just try and bat as long as possible, build partnerships.
Pretty much. I mean, like I said, what else could we possibly do? I mean, we're not going to just give them a victory just to give it to them. Like, we our backs, we had no other option but to bat long. Simple as that. You know, and that was the goal. Just go out there and bat. And at the end of the day, fellas, this is a perfect opportunity for you to go out there and achieve some personal goals. Some of you never scored 100 in cup match, go out there score 100. You know, and that was it.
Yeah. That 112 run partnership between Delray and Mackay, that kind of settled the entire game. You think?
It pretty much did. You know? At one stage, we were tickling with putting Rodney up there before Delray just because we don't want to get the new boy. He's like, Coach, I'm going number 4. I can do this. Don't worry about that. I'm got this. And that's all I need is confidence, you know, and hey, go ahead and do your thing, boss. You know, you're the guys. You know, I didn't even be back to go out there and just got us in a position why we couldn't lose the game, pretty much.
Yeah. Before I go back to Doc, we spoke with the match referee about the controversy of the stumps being pulled early. What I know why you want to continue, because there was 2 players at the wicket that could have possibly gotten centuries. But give us a sense of, there was so much confusion going on. No one knew why and what was going on. But from your standpoint, why was it important that the match continued for St. George?
Simple. There were thousands of people that came to Wellington Oval to watch cricket. We still had hour left? 50 minutes left?
45 minutes.
45 minutes left?
Yeah, 45 minutes left. Yeah.
45 minutes left. Like, these people pay an exceptional amount of money to come through the gate. They pay even more money to pay for their spots. They deserve to watch cricket up until 7:30. It's as simple as that. It had nothing to do with anything else but giving the people of Bermuda what they paid for.
Okay. Hey, Doc, had you ever seen where the ball goes for 6 and all of a sudden another ball shows up, and sometimes the umpire had a ball in his pocket. In cricket, you see it in baseball, but what we saw on Friday between
you got to make it
6:45 and 7:30.
Yeah, well, like they said, people's coming in the last 45 minutes. Look, they were still charging around 7, so if I'm coming in at 7 and the game's finished, I'm going to be mad. So you got to get the game continue. But the balls were coming over quick. I mean, it was getting look, we said last week, and we looked at both teams.
Mhm.
I said it was going to be an exciting draw. I think Cal said the same thing. Depending like how the game went and how the game went the first day with Somerset making 400, I knew it was going to be very hard for Somerset to bowl out St. George's twice. I mean, the first innings, they bowled them out. I think if St. George's would have been in with that same betting, like, and they displayed in the second innings. Like what they done in the first innings could have been different, but then when you're playing under pressure, it's a little different. The first innings, Delray batted good. They was unfortunate. They losing a lot of wickets around Delray, so they end up getting bowled out. But I know that second innings, each batsman, I think Chinky and Delray, really batted good. They took their time, and once they got in on their wicket, it was pretty well easy. The wicket played really good after that first hour. The first day after that it was like I didn't see anything, any movement, maybe a little turn. I think Derek Brennan got a little turn.
Yeah.
I think he Bill Rutney a few guys got a little turn. After that, I didn't see no turn the second day. It was pretty straightforward. And that last 45 minutes, it was entertaining. I mean, you never seen so much sixes, but it makes it exciting.
Yeah, it reminded me of that time, Clay, when St. George's declared at lunch up in Somerset, and we went 350 in the first session.
No, I think it was like 260 by lunchtime.
Right.
260 at lunch, yeah.
Yeah, 260, and was the debate whether or not you should declare and then try to build them out and so forth. But that particular day, there were plenty of sixes as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cal?
Yeah, we had a display of the English baseball test team playing. If anything, it gave St. George's some good confidence for next year. They know they could play. They could bet to the Somerset Bowling. How do they adjust the mindset to take that 45 minutes into a longer version to get a better innings total?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I was listening to you guys earlier, and to be quite honest with you, I've heard so many other people debate this topic about us and our decision to do. I mean, our decision to do it first. Yeah, I find it. I don't know. Being. Let me just say this. You're damn if you do, and you're damn if you don't.
Yeah.
Because you know what? The last 2 years I've been coach, we betted first. And everybody says, how this place me bet first. And they've got to build something twice. This year, we do the opposite because, as you know, what's that saying? You know what? Let me keep it nice. Oh my gosh.
You know what? I think we need to take a commercial. We need to take a commercial break.
What do they say about insanity? When you continue to do the same thing over and over,
yeah,
and expect the same result. So we done something different. We done something different, and it didn't work out. So all it is, we have to go back to the drawing board again. It's simple. But at the end of the day, one way or the other, we have to either bat first or we have to build first. That's the reality. If you win the toss.
And Clay, to your kudos, I mean, Somerset would have done the same thing. They would have sent Union too on that damn pitch. I'm sure. Somerset's not going to go bad on that wicket. So, like I said, it's just that first hour and a half, maybe more. If you would have got a little bit more wickets deeper into it, you never know what happened. But I think you had no other choice but to bowl it first. Or that moisture in your wicket.
Moisture wickets, overcast morning.
Overcast, yeah.
Come on, guys, come on. It's a no-brainer, really, isn't it?
Right,
I
right.
mean, we could look back at it after the fact that some scored 400, but anyway.
Yeah. But you know what the funny part is, Clay, and this happens all the time. Most of the criticism comes at the end of the day's play. When whatever happened, and then people are questioning. So why did St. George's do this, and why did Somerset do that, and why did instead of just listen?
Half the time criticism comes from a lot of people that don't really know the game.
Well, that was what I was just gonna say. It's people that come to the game and spend more time with their back to the field than it is to watching the game. And then the wondering what
I'm at a point where I don't even pay it no mind, because I know that my team and we sit down and we discuss our options, what's the best option for us, and we go, we back ourselves to do what we have to do, and we backed ourselves to have a build. We put a wicket down there that we knew was going to turn from ball one, and it turned from ball one. We just did not throw the ball in the right areas. It's as simple as that.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's take another commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue with Clay Smith, the coach of St. George's Cricket Club. We'll be right back.
It seems everyone knows someone who's lactose intolerant or just avoiding dairy products. Unfortunately, there's a growing array of delicious and nutritious alternatives. Pacific Natural Foods have been doing things their own way simply and sustainably for over a quarter century, making non-dairy beverages with the finest possible ingredients right down to the packaging. Try Pacific Natural Original and Vanilla Hemp Milk and Almond Original Plant-Based Beverage, all sweetened or unsweetened, and low-sodium organic vegetable or chicken broth. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends, and that's what I'm thankful for.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
And welcome back. Clay, what has changed in Cup Match from you from when you grew up watching to becoming a player and now a coach? What has changed in Cup Match for you from your vision?
The length of time. The length of time has extended drastically. To be quite honest, I felt extremely sorry for the umpires later on in the day. Because I actually talked to the umpires on the side. I was like, shit, you guys never thought about having two umpires on day one and different two on day two, because their job is mentally draining. And when you're talking about being out there and having to concentrate and make decisions over and over, the players get drained. And the umpires out there, they have to concentrate every single ball. And there's so many little decisions that, could go. I mean, the first day alone, we had numerous of decisions where we were shouting and looking for court behind. One time the ball actually went to fresh slip, and the fresh slip caught it, and we didn't get a decision. So the level of concentration, the umpires have a tough job. So that's one of the main things. The fact that we're extended the game to get more overseen for the day. It's a good thing because it helps you to get a result pretty much, but it's very taxing on the players, but it's for the betterment of the game in terms of trying to get a result. So, yeah.
Sure. Doc?
No, mine's the same because my neighbor and I too, that extra hour. Since they added that extra hour, there's been a lot of results, but you got to feel for the umpires, man. I had talked about that years ago, but these guys, that's a long day on the field, man. Normally the games just finish 6:30. And 5:30 was the last 20 hours. Now it's 6:30. Finishing 7:30, depending on the last hour. So it's definitely a long, and the game starts 10. So that concentration level's got to be. Sometimes it's difficult with all the noise. If you see when the Thursday and Friday with all the noise that's going on, I gotta tell these guys stop playing the music. And they're waiting for these guys. It's not only the umpires, the players getting frustrated too. When I was playing, it wasn't that much noise too. I mean, noise. The music would stop as soon as the ball is ready to blow. Now, sometimes these guys are getting ready to blow. They gotta wait for the music and that's time consuming too.
But
that's your horn.
Yeah, they got something they got to look at too.
Yeah. Cal?
Yeah, I think the game is evolving.
Yeah, Clay, you was gonna mention. Yeah, Cal.
Yeah, the game is evolving from the players' point of view, officials to even outside. We're talking about the disturbances, people walking around just unaware where they are. The players are out there longer. The equipment that players are using, the bats versus the ball, all of that stuff. So there's so many components that making the game change. Even next year will be different. It's going to be more people that's going to want to come. They're going to want to see that excitement. So it's going to be even more noise. So it's managing everything that's related to it without taking away from the actual cricket.
Well, I know that when they first started when they changed all that, you realize we're about 20 to 30 minutes shy of 3 days of Test cricket in that time frame that we're playing 2 days of cricket. If you equivalent the time that they play per session in Test cricket to the time we play per session in Cup match, it's just about 30 minutes or 20 minutes shy of 3 days of a Test match. So that is a long time to be out there for 2 days. And working within the parameters in which we have. And let's not even forget, it's humid and it's hot.
And nowhere to run from the elements.
Yeah.
A water break, a lunch break, and a tea break.
Oh, at the end of the day, you're talking about Bermuda's elite players, right? So if they're Bermuda's elite players, they should be taking care of their bodies. They should be making sure these guys play, most of them, so they know what it takes. They know they have to get themselves prepared mentally and physically for 2 long days.
Right.
If they're serious about their game, then they're gonna do what they have to do to get themselves ready and prepared.
Yeah,
and that's a good point because you don't wait to the week before or the 2 weeks before to be drinking water. You should be drinking water like weeks and months ago, storing up and getting used to playing in that hot sun because Cup matches is going to be a time where you don't know how long you're going to be in the field. If you look at it, St. George's is on the field all day Thursday. Some sit on the field all day Friday. So sometimes you got to be prepared for that too. You got to get in some type of shape. I mean, I felt sorry for Del Rey because he ain't used to this. He's been playing cricket in the UK where it's a lot cooler. And I'd say him, he was struggling a lot. because coming back, even though he's playing, for baseball, you gotta remember we had a lot of rain this year, so a lot of matches have been on and off. This is the first day like where it's been hot, and these guys are playing from 10 to 7:30. And there was a person that builds and bats. I think it took a lot out of him. I saw him running off the field every 2 minutes. But one thing about him, he always came back. He always came back, made sure that the team was okay. He got his water, came back. But so that was something different for him in previous years. Let's play a cup match.
Yeah.
And let me also just say that leading up to cup match this year, we were actually playing T20 cricket instead of 50 over cricket, which did not help the cause at all. You know what I mean? Like leading up to cup match, you want your players to be playing as many 50 over games as possible, so because it's a longer version of the game, isn't it? So that way they're used to the butters are more conditioned for the version of the game. But I guess it's a lesson that we in St. George's learned this year, because what we'll do next year, we have to do some things differently.
They need to take another commercial break.
I mean, we gave the board like almost a month's advance notice that we're going to be having cup match trial dates, and next thing we know, we've got a T20 games starting on the same day that we're scheduled to play a cup match trial game. Like, it baffles me. It really baffles me. So what a game. We're all in this process, and we're all living, we're all learning from our mistakes. And so next year, what we'll do, we'll go in and we'll give the board our cup match trial dates in April, and hopefully that will be no conflict of interest come June and July, then we get to play our cup match trial dates. Just little things, but they all add up to make it better, to make better prepared. You know what I mean?
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah. For the cup match MVP, I'm not sure when that will be selected. Safe hands will be announced on Tuesday by the sponsors. So that answer to that question. Final questions for Clay, Doc?
No, just I think when I look now, we talked about it last year. We looked at St. George's team. Me personally, I don't know how Playfield, but I thought you was probably just one bowler to short, maybe like a pacer that could have probably helped Zico out. But then again, looking at that wicket, I don't know, that worked. Maybe in the first hour, maybe because with Dowray struggling to hold the ball, it was probably good. I mean, Charles Trott came in and built a bit. He just built a good line and length. Maybe if you had another little quick twirler that could probably build a little seamers and a little but that's all hindsight. But I just thought maybe it was a one builder short, even though you was probably thinking it was taking spin. It did take spin, but I thought another opener builder. I don't know what you think about that, Clay.
Yeah, it's a valid point. And we did look at not young, Seth Campbell. He was somebody that we were interested in. He had a fairly good final trial. There's some other gentlemen like Omar Starr had a very good final trial. He's been struggling pretty much over the year, but he really showed that he was up for it in the final trial. So he caught our eye, and another boy caught our eye that we see as a player for the future. The little boy, Luke Fortune from at Warwick. Yeah. Again, these are reasons why we were so late, because that was one of the things that we were debating. We knew that we needed another seamer, or we wanted another seamer. It's just a matter of which way do we go. And That was a debate. That was one of the debates that caught on. That was up there for hours.
Hours.
That was a crazy selection. That's all I can say.
Cal?
It's good headaches, isn't it? It's good headaches.
Oh, yeah.
Realistically, we had about 15 players that we could have actually that probably deserved to play cup match. You know, you look at the boy, Shakai Darrow, and Zari Painter. You know, these guys, two spinners, been bowling extremely well for us all year. But what can I say? Any 11 can get picked, you know. Any 11 can get picked, unfortunately.
Yeah. Cal?
Yeah, like Clay said, it's good headaches to have. Hopefully next year they don't take the 3 a.m. to pick the team.
It was two.
It was a good performance from St. George's. I thought it would have went the other way around where Somerset fought for a battle and draw, but St. George's entertained us with a good draw. So they're getting there. We're getting there. St. George's is coming. So,
is there any two teams that play cup match
next year?
Hey, Cal, listen.
I fix that Bronson issue, bro.
I thank you for your your kind words. But if you know Clay Smith, you know draw's not good enough for me. I don't play to just come. I don't play to become second. You know, and my team. I'll be honest with you. After day one, I was so livid. I couldn't even sleep that night. My team had dinner down by the pool, and my team had everybody had left and went to the room. I literally sat down by the pool for about 2 hours, wondering like what on earth went wrong today. Like what could we have done differently? Like it really ate at me. You know what I mean? Because that just wasn't good enough. It just was not good enough. And we have to go back to the drawing board and come back even stronger next year because this is starting to become. I can't tolerate this no longer, you guys. But the true St. George's fans just cannot tolerate this any longer. It has to come to an end very soon.
Right. Well, Clay, we're gonna pick the player, our player of the match. I don't know if you want to hang around and be a part of this part, but Doc and Cal, obviously, from the Somerset standpoint, you have Dion Stovall scoring the 139. We had Karen Fraze scoring 65. Stephen Bremer 64 in the bowling department for St. George's, and we're talking first inning. 4 for 59 from 17 overs, 3 maidens. Alan Douglas 18 overs, 1 maiden, 4 for 95. And then in the St. George's inning, you had obviously 78 from Dowray Rollins, 35 from 24 from Azende Furbet. I thought he handled himself very well in that first inning, helping St. George's to get to that 219. But in the bowling department, Derek Brinkman, 14 overs, 2 maidens, 5 for 48. Dion Stovall, 8 overs, 2 for 22. Everyone else, well, Kamal, McLeod, and Malachi got a wicket each. And then that second inning, Dowray Rollins, 73. Mackay Simmons, 63. Again, Derek Brinkman, 3 wickets for 118 runs off of 12 overs. That's when the sixes started to rein in. But Cal, I'm going to start with you. Whose performance overall in cup match would you say was most outstanding?
I'll take the bowler. I'll take Derek more so because he bowled well, got wickets, and he held some catches. Mm-hmm. I know Doc will pick up batsman.
I'm picking an all-rounder. I'm taking Dion Stovall because his 139 changed the game for me. Like, he came in a time. Even though I like Tarrant, because Tarrant changed, he batted a long time on that wicket too. Mm-hmm. After they lost those 2 early wickets, he really. I mean, he had 1 or 2 chances, but he hung around. for the middle order to get those partnerships. But then when Dion came in, he made that 139, and then his first innings, he got three wickets.
No, two for 22.
2 for 22.
Mhm.
So and ended up building out St. George's that first innings. I mean, I don't know if he didn't get too many wickets. I didn't think he built much the second.
6 overs, 1 for 22.
Yeah, that's not a wicket. So I'm leaning towards Dion.
I was leaning towards Dion as well. Cal, I understand what you're saying that Derek would have taken 8 wickets in cup match, given up 160 runs. He hung on to
4 catches.
4 catches. But overall, Dion's overall performance, and trailing right behind that would have been the 2 half centuries that Delray had. In a half century in both innings. But I would lean towards Dion. Clay, let me ask you, who would you say? Thought I just asked.
The Gronk style.
You're not obligated to answer that right now.
Hey, listen, man. I take my hat off to Dion Starbull, man. The guy, he took the game away from us pretty much for a chanceless 100, I say. And on top of that, he chipped in and got a couple of wickets easily. Yeah. When he ran off injured, I said to myself, I hope this is not the way he ends his cup match like he did the last time in St. George's, having to be taken off the field. But he managed to come back, which I was really, really excited about, because you never want to see a player go off the field injured and not be able to return. So I'm happy that he was able to come back and do what he done. So with that, we'll say that Dion Starbull will be the Gosling's Player of the Week. Gentlemen, we'll be back next week with another edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. Thank you again for joining, Clay. Cool. No problem.
Right.
Okay.